Being a family caregiver for a loved one is part of an unwritten job description for millions of baby boomers. Now, I've had the privilege of serving as a caregiver and of hearing stories from so many others. It's one of the most important and complicated roles you'll ever play. But people usually come to this position with absolutely no experience, and they receive little, if any, on-the-job training. So here to tell us what to expect is Amy Goyer, AARP's caregiving expert and author of Juggling Life, Work, and Caregiving. Amy, welcome. What a huge topic to cover here.
Thank you.
I think everyone knows or has been in the position, like I have also, of taking care of someone who is either too ill to take care of themselves anymore, or through accident or whatever these days. How important do you think the need for caregiving is these days?
It's really a growing need. There are 40 million family caregivers in the U.S.
Not just me.
It's you and I and 40 million other people. It's a huge issue, and it's also one that's complicated. There are lots of things that caregivers are trying to deal with, and we're juggling our work and our family. It's something that affects virtually everyone. Either you've been a caregiver, or you will be a caregiver, or you are a caregiver, or you're going to be the recipient of care.
Who are the family caregivers out there today, and how are they helping as a caregiver?
We are daughters and sons and spouses and partners and nieces and nephews, and we think of ourselves that way. We don't think of ourselves as caregivers, but we are. We're stepping in, we're taking care of daily tasks like transportation and medication management and making meals and shopping and quality of life, as well as health care. And family caregivers are 60% women and about 40% men. The average family caregiver is about 49 years old, and taking care of a woman about 69 years old is probably her mother. But 1 in 4 are millennials. They're younger caregivers taking care of us aging baby boomers.
Already?
Already?
We're falling apart early.
Exactly. and they're more likely to be equally men and women. So this is affecting everyone.
Well, I was a caregiver for both of my parents, and it was over a period of years. And I know you're going through that right now, too, with your dad and with your mom recently. So how are you dealing with all of that, just personally?
You know, I've been a caregiver my entire adult life. First for my grandparents, for my mom had a stroke when she was only 63. And I've had a variety of roles. For the past 7 years, I've been very intensively caregiving. I moved across the country. I made changes to my work situation so I could do this. I also took care of my sister in many ways before she passed away. So it's a constant role and a change, but I have to know that there's joys and challenges.
What tips do you have for people going through this? I bet you've got a few.
I've got quite a few. The most important one I've learned is that it's not selfish, it's practical to take care of myself. I have to keep filling my tank. I don't expect my car to run on empty, but I seem to expect myself to, and that doesn't make sense. The second thing I've learned is that we have to accept help and get help.
I think that's the hardest part for women to do, is accept help, even when it's offered.
Right, and the worst thing we can do is really to try and do it by ourselves.
So now I understand you have actually written a book about this, and it's called Juggling Life, Work, and Caregiving. So yes, show your book. I think this is very important. How are you and your organization, AARP, working to help with all of this, to support caregivers?
Well, I wrote the book to combine both my personal experience as a caregiver and my professional experience working 35 years in the field of aging, and I tried to make it very practical because I know caregivers are busy. AARP also has a wealth of great information on the online AARP Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. And there you can get all kinds of videos and information. I write a column on the website. You can connect with myself and other experts, but also you can connect with other family caregivers because we learn the most from each other, right?
Right.
And that's the AARP online community at aarp.org/caregiving community. You can post questions 24/7 and respond to people in times that you're able to do that. And AARP is also working really hard, both at the federal level on Capitol Hill, legislatively with things like the Raise Family Caregiving Act, but also at the state level with our CARE Act, and with local caregiving events and trying to connect caregivers with local resources.
Well, That is so important. Having gone through this, that is so important to have a network of people to reach out to. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing all of this.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you.
Lovely to meet you. And for more information and resources on how to help or how to be a caregiver, go to aarp.org/caregiving or log on to babyboomersinamerica.com.